Hi, everyone. This is the third time I'm recording this little short introduction, so I sure hope I get it right. And what a good lesson for a high acuity nurse about the impact of technology on everyday practice. Welcome to the class. What I have to say is I'm incredibly envious of Nate and Fro there, who get to be with you face-to-face today, and here I am far away in California, presenting at a conference and really missing you. Let me tell you a little bit about this course, and trust me that next week when I'm there face-to-face with you, we'll have lots of opportunity to talk about what I've talked about today, to talk about how the course is designed, to ask me any questions that may emerge, to make sure that we solve everything together so that you're happy and excited as we move forward. I'll tell you, I'm pretty happy and excited. This is NURS 3403U High Acuity Nursing. I have been waiting years to teach this course, and I can't wait for it to begin. In terms of the focus for learning in this course, I think of a story my friend Dana Chorney, one of your professors, shared with me one day when she reflected on our use of iPads with students and said, you know, I imagine one day patients will look at nurses and say, do you think I should trust that you just keep all that information in your heads? And when she said that, a bell went off for me, and I realized she's exactly right. We've moved into an era where we're not able to keep information in our heads, and we shouldn't keep information in our heads. As we move through this course, both in our learning style in the classroom and in the assessment methods, the focus is not on memorization. High acuity nurses don't memorize facts. We learn facts. We apply facts. We know things. We come to know things well. But the focus is not on memorization. It's on creative application. It's on judicious critical analysis in a situation in order to make the best possible judgment. That's how we're going to focus our class learning. That's how we're going to focus our assessments. So what's that going to look like? In this course, you're going to have 3 different major assignments and a small sort of participation application opportunity. The 3 different major assignments include a midterm exam, a final exam, and what's called a triple jump assessment or a triple jump assignment. For both the midterm exam and the final exam, you can bring in any resource you want. You can bring in your textbooks, you can bring in an iPhone, you can bring in a laptop, you can phone somebody if you want. You can't talk in class. You're gonna have to figure out if you want to text somebody. You cannot share the information from a test outside of the test because there is test integrity. But otherwise, it's up to you how you can best retrieve material in the moment effectively. Now, I have to warn you, that doesn't mean you're not going to have to learn things. If you take too heavily this idea that you have 2 hours or 3 hours in order to be able to retrieve information and then apply it, I can guarantee you you're going to run out of time. But if you learn the concepts as we go along, if you then develop strategies that are your own strategies for effectively finding the information you need in the moment to validate what you believe to be the correct foundational concept, and then move to what the test is going to ask you. It's going to be about critical thinking, synthesis of information. It's going to be about application. It's going to be use of case studies. You will find that you are able to take that information and meaningfully apply it to situations that will mimic for you what high acuity nursing is going to be like in the real world. So the multiple choice test, which is going to happen on March 2nd in class time and is worth 30%, and the final exam, which is going to happen in the exam period in April and is worth 40%, will both contain multiple choice questions, short answer, case study, application questions. All of those different kinds of questions will require that you apply the information that we are learning in class to situations. And as we learn it in class, every single week we'll give examples of those kinds of questions. This is the new era where knowledge workers, such as nurses, apply the best of evidence-based information in the moment to make judicious, well thought out, critically appraised responses to emerging clinical situations. And that's what you'll be able to do. You'll also have 5 different opportunities over the term to take part in critical application exercises. Each is just worth 1%. We'll talk about them as they happen. You won't know ahead of time when those are going to happen, and you'll have an opportunity to both share your own learning and take part in learning that other students are sharing with you. You'll also take part in a group assignment. It's worth 25%. It's called a group triple jump assignment or group triple jump assessment. In a triple jump assessment, there are 3 phases, and that's why we call it a triple jump. You begin with a case study. Phase 1 is analyzing the case study. Phase 2 is determining priorities for research and determining what that research then leads you to in terms of action. Phase 3 is the dissemination or reporting back. A triple jump assignment requires that you complete the work in a time-limited period. So what's going to happen on March 23rd when you complete that assignment is that in groups of 4, and we'll decide next week if you'd like me to place you in groups or you'll self-assign your own groups, you'll each receive a case study. That group will come in to a scheduled period for about 15 to 20 minutes where you read over the case study, you start to determine what hypotheses might be in relation to what's happening in that situation. You make the most of your resources in that moment, that 15 to 20 minutes, using myself, Nate, and Leslie to ask us any questions you have. I may have more information that's not in the case study. You'll have to ask me. If you don't ask, I'm not going to tell you. If you do ask, I might still not know, and that'll be important for you to follow up on. Subsequent to that 15 to 20 minute period, you'll leave and your group will have 2 hours to complete a focused research in which you can use any kind of resources you want. You can use the internet, you can go to the library, you can ask the librarian to look it up for you, you can talk to a professor, you can call somebody who's an expert in the field, you can use literature, best available literature or best practice guidelines. You can follow through on research in any way possible to be able to determine what are priorities of care given the information that you have, what you're able to glean from it, and how you're able to fill in those knowledge gaps. At the end of the 2 hours, your research period is completed and you move into the dissemination period. And in the dissemination period, you create a PowerPoint that you're going to upload onto Blackboard in which you and your classmates can view it, that will describe the case, your analysis of the case, the research that you did, best possible information from this research process that leads you to priorities of care and development of a care plan for that particular client. Each of these phases, phase 1, reading over the case, determining priorities based on your original reading, seeking out information, highlighting what gaps may be available. Phase 2, the research phase, where you go away and you find out further information, you try to fill in those gaps, you try to prioritize care based on that new knowledge. And phase 3, the dissemination phase, where you create that PowerPoint and post it, will be graded, and there's a rubric in your posted to Blackboard here as part of the paperwork that talks about the different assignments. I hope you'll find the triple jump assignment both enjoyable, illuminating, and also a really good practice opportunity as you move into high acuity nursing. I really look forward to seeing all of you next week. It's a pleasure to be teaching this course. As I said, Leslie and I have been waiting forever to be here. Unfortunately, I'm not here this week, but we can't wait to begin teaching this course. I hope you have a fantastic day today, and I look forward to meeting each one of you face-to-face next week and in the coming weeks to come. Thanks so much.